Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Codersarts. So this series is basically Python hands-on series, and in today's video we are going to learn about the dictionary. So what is the Python dictionary, and more specifically we are going to learn about the Python dictionary practical things. Okay, so before going to actually do the coding part, let's understand what is the basically the dictionary. So as a simple definitions, we can say a dictionary is an unordered collection of the data. So key value pair form. Okay. So I think anything has anything is called data, right? So like either numerical data, either maybe alphanumeric, or more specifically we discuss in general term. It might be numerical data. But there is some any name or something. Like. Or some might be some decimal point, like some complex number, like this five, anything could might be, right? But so these are all the things are called beta. These all these are called data, right? But once we share this type of information to you, or like six something like or 60.9, or maybe 100 ft, something like that. So you see, you you randomly can see what is the 12. Obviously you can say 12 is a number, but that is a general term, right? But it might be height, it might be some numerical value, it might be some unit, might be 12 feet, anything can it could be, right? So the main idea here is all the things are called data value. These are data value, these are value, these are value, or we can say the constant value. So there is no any annotations, right? Just like is this height, or is this like age of the people, or is a complex number for what these are denoting. So 23.5, what is actually this is. So basically this data has no any meaning without giving these annotations or assigning some value. Like we can say the if we assign age is 12, right? So if you are assigning 12 to age, or if assigning name to ram, right? So it's like that. And then after, if you are assigning 23.5, so make something like you can say bag weight or something, you can say uh, or maybe, yeah, bag, maybe anything could be. You can consider, I'm just considering books bag or something like that, bags of books. So that is 23.5 kg, like that. I plus maybe some complex number, real number, real number, or complex number, we can say the complex number 1 I plus 6. Instead of 1 you can write anything. I think by default 1 is like consider this. Okay, something like that. Or maybe even height, or we are assigning 100 feet. So after giving this value to some data annotations, basically we are giving, yeah, we are giving values to certain variables, right? So age equal to 12, something like that. So once we are assigning this type of data to certain variables, then its data look like more meaningful, right? So the idea here is there is something, suppose these are variables, like one variables, two variables, three variables, four and five variables. So if there is some scenario where more than one variable is required, and that is also easily to grasp, like other than the value, it should be some variables, like what is meaning. So 12 is the age, or what is the name, and what is the bags book, something like that. So what is kg. So if there is some pattern and some design pattern or some fashions where all the things are connected with each other, right? So or we can say in the form of key, so we can say these are variables and these are 12. Okay, so it's like it should be come together in the pair form, right? So if there is some scenario, so like we can say age is 12 and then 12. So if we represent like that, so it will be more easier, right? Like it might be we can consider, yeah, and now is the uh, value is now complete. So we can say age is giving the value to this 12, because this age is giving the meaning to this 12, right? What is this type of, where we are going to use, else these are just random dummy data, right? There is no any use, but still we are assigning some value or some, giving them some variables name or giving some name to the data. So that's why data is becoming more meaningful, and so that we can use somewhere. So in this case, so this we can call, this is a key, and this key we can say is a value. But so where the use of dictionary came into the picture, right? So if there is, let's suppose in the same case, maybe let's consider we have to create a data, like we have to store the data of a student, student data. Let's suppose we have to store the data of the student. So as a student, what are the information as a student can have? Name, right? Let's say name, roll number, age we can consider, class or college we can say, college, school we can consider it, department we can write, also we can write course or semester, anything, right? So these are information. So suppose before, when we started the programming language, so only the luxury to have or to store this type of data, and the only our feasibility was, like we have to create different variables, let's give this RAM and roll number we can say, roll number you can also correct one, that is not an issue, just do not consider case sensitive. So let's say 01, age maybe we can consider 18, okay. College we can say, let's write my own college name, NIT, okay. So let's, I'm giving this name, okay. So let's give the name. Department maybe we can say, write it CSE, right? Or maybe we can say course, we are studying currently, so maybe we can consider here, let's maybe computer science, or maybe let's say Python programming, Python programming. And current semester we can consider same equal to, let's say 6 semester, okay, 6, or let's make it number 6M, okay. So this is course. So you can see, when we have to store the data of a student, it might be anything, it's not fixed, anything could have. So what we have to define, you have to define, names, roles. So count how many different variables you have to use, 1 variables, 2 variables, 3 variables, 4, 5, 6, 7. So any number of data based on the what you prefer to use, the number of variables should be, that many variables should be there. But the more challenging part here is, you have to remember all these variables, okay, like where is the age, what the college, what is the department, what are the information you have mentioned, right? Because sometimes you do not know for a student data how many records are available. Record in the sense, what are the different fields and what are the student information are available for a particular student, right? Suppose you are creating any tables, in tables you already know 4 columns, 5 columns, or something like that, right? But in case of variables, you do not know. Suppose you are creating individual variables, so you cannot imagine, or there is no any such thing available in any programming language, so that you can count for a student informations this number of record are available for a student in the case of single variables. So in that case only you option have to go manually to the code and check how many variables you have defined. Even you can do some other way, but that have take more time as a manual process, right? We have to do manually. So is there such scenario, like with the help of single variables, we can access everything. If we want to check how many number of field I am currently using and what is the value of that field, and how can directly access those value with the help of single variables, okay. So this is the main challenging part, for almost all the programming language. So all other programming language have their own different way of handling, but in Python, to handle this type of scenario, the Python has introduced the call dictionary. Okay, so what will happen if you want to define something like that, like giving those options, like with the help of curly bracket you have to use that, and then with the in this fashions how we can define, like let's call this name like this, and then define right ram, and with the help of comma just create other variables, called roll number. Okay, and give is any name, like let's make it numeric, or maybe let's make it numeric. So if you're making numeric, 0 1 is not required, just write only numeric value against comma. So I'm just talking about so you can consider variable as a key, and the value is called value, data is called value. Okay, so this is called key value pair, and how both can be connected with the colon, right? So both key value, like variables and the value, will be connected through this colon. So you can say that this is used for as a mapping, like which data associated with which. Okay, so ram is associated with name, so just we can say colon is working as a connector of mapping between these two data or associations, you can say it's representing here. Okay, so similarly you can write it here and make sure our key should be in the form of a string. Okay, so let me do here age, what was the 18. Okay, similarly college. Okay, and let's call it NIT Raipur. Okay, or if you want to do more faster, let me just use the powerful tool copy paste. Okay, and make it like that, and then make it comma, but make sure in dictionaries colon is equal to is not correct syntax, we have to use colon, and let's make it like this. Okay, and then after comma, so all the different key value pair should be separated with the comma, or we can say separate item. Okay, and then use colon here, and that will be 6 same, so it might be a string. Okay, so you can now you can see, and at last we do not have to use comma, because your element or key value pair is entered here. Okay, if you want to add more, so you can use the comma. At last it comma is not required if your data is ended. Okay, there is no any data. So you can see the right hand side is value, and key and value is connected with colon. Okay, so that will show as a one association and one pair. So one key value pair, this is one another key value pair. So right side is a value, so value should be just like a data structure. If this is a string, so a string should be defined within double quote, number should be without double quote, again number should be without double quote, and string value data should be double quote, double quote, double quote. So where a string is required, data type is string, so you use double quotes. So if you are not, then use other form like booleans, float value, integers value. So this should be without comma. Okay, so you already know how to define different data in the Python. Okay, and the left hand side you can say the key should be always in the form of inside double quote, so it represent as a keys. Okay, so you can say which one is more easier to remember. So just like just to have to remember a student. Okay, and let's make it fine, or maybe let's say more easier, so let's student information. So so again you can say this is still more easier to remember this one, but I'm just going to explain more and more. There is more concept here, not our story does not completed here, didn't finish here. So after defining this structure, there is more operations, but more operation is possible once we are defining our data in the form of this, and this is called the structure of dictionary, how dictionary is, syntax of creating dictionary is this. Okay, so once your data is defined in this format, so we have too many extra things that make our task more easier. Suppose if you want to check how many student informations I have stored. Okay, so I don't know how many. In this case, you don't know how many student informations you are going to store. You can check, but you have to go to check in the program level manually, right? But you have to scroll up, scroll down. But in certain line of code, just I want to check how many data value is present here, okay, or how many different columns, how many different keys are available in for a student information. So just you have to call one function called keys, and this function will return everything, like it will return like name, it will return roll numbers. So all the keys will be returned here. Okay, so I'm just using only for this one, and last one is really same. So it's like this. So based on that you can check, okay, fine, so these are the different information we are storing and we have used in this program. Okay, so just with the help of one name, just you have to remember student informations, and based on that there is different functions. You can get the all keys. Similarly you can get the values if you want to get all the values. So just with the, you don't have to remember every time different name, because the student information is also easier to remember. And then again you can call values. Okay, and again sometime also you have to check is the certain informations is available in dictionary or not. So like suppose sometime you forget, like if there is course name or something, we can say in which we are which year I will enroll in these courses, so this information is available or not. So also you can check membership, like suppose like I'm just checking this name is available or not. So name is name in, okay, so we can say like that, is something like that we can check. So it will be returned true false value. Like I'm just want to check is this more info this student information is available or not. So name is already available, but I want to check enrollment date. Okay, enrollment date. So in this case it will show error, not show error, it will return false, like this key is not available in this one. Okay, so this is the extra thing. There is more thing to do. Also you can, this way you can do. So that's why dictionary is more popular. And even this dictionary is similar, like if you are already familiar with what is the JSON data, so dictionary also work as a form of the JSON. I think you have already know JSON data. So JSON is also form of curly bracket, and that are associated with key value pair, and each key value pair is separated by comma, right? So this is the more interesting part about the dictionary, and this is called dictionary. So this form of a structure and the syntax of this type of a structure for data we are creating, so that all these different type of operations are possible. So that is called dictionary. And so how easily you can organize and manage your data. Also you can access the data. Suppose if you want to access the data, like I want to some only student name. Okay, so you don't have to remember each variable's name, just you call the dictionary info, and then after with the help of this bracket, square bracket, just pass the key, make the key is correct. Okay, so it will not give exact ones if it will show error if you are using some different either dictionary is also case sensitive. Okay, so sometimes you are using a small, and if you are using capital or something like that, so it will show error. So in that case you can directly access the name. It will be return like so there is many things like finding, checking all the student informations key, also checking the value, check the enroll, just like check the membership, certain value is available in dictionary or not, how to accessing, how we can add more column, how we can add more information, how we can remove certain keys. Maybe sometime by mistake we have added some information, later you think that information are not relevant, so also that time you can call remove method. So these are different methods are available as a dictionary, in Python dictionary. Okay, so I hope you got the whole idea about the dictionary and why the dictionary is useful and in which scenario you should use the dictionary. Okay, fine. So let's go to the practical thing and do one by one how we can do this. Okay, fine. And also I will show these all things. Okay, so just stay tuned. So I am using this Python editor. Okay, so let's create one file and give this name Python dictionary. Okay, okay. So our first thing is let's create the dictionary. Okay, creating a dictionary of student or my student grade. Okay, so let's this one. So grad is grades. So let's say so how to create dictionary with the help of curly bracket, and inside we have to use key value. So let's write something like that. Okay, or give this value 85 and another, let's get those and give some value 90 and some other one Jane, or write some. Okay, so this is a thing. So this is one key value, this is another key value. Both key and value is separated by colon. Okay, so do not confuse, the first value before the colon is called key. So these are keys and these are value after the colon, and similarly these are key and these are value, and both the key and value are is connected with colon, and each key value pair is separated by comma, and the whole string, not whole string, whole key values pair can be enclosed within this curly bracket, starting with curly bracket, ending is curly bracket, and the whole thing is called dictionary. Okay, fine. So once we have created the dictionary, let's print this grades, and let me show you the result. So you can see the data is as it is, as is a present. So already see where why I am saying single quote, why I am saying here we have mentioned double quote. So that is not any issue, that is memory management done by the Python, that can be done, but still there is no any difference. Okay, so either you can single quote or double quote, but that is not an issue. Okay, so we have already know how to create the dictionary, how to print the dictionary. That is a simple one. Now we have to access the dictionary. Okay, so like we have to access certain data, access the grade. Okay, so you already know this, what this dictionary hold. So this dictionary hold the information of grade, and what are the grade for particular student, what are the grade. So all this, based on all this data, if you want to access certain data, like I want to check what is the grade of those, right? So how we can access. Okay, so that was I'm going to show you here. So let me call direct. Okay, let's first make it the simple, like grades, just use the variables name, and then if you want to access certain element of the dictionary key value pair, so just you have to call the key. Okay, so let me, I want to see data of the those, I don't know what is it called, you can write your correct pronunciations. Okay, so I just want to check what is the grade of those. Okay, fine. So according to us, or according to our dictionary, our expected out should be 90. Okay, so let's print this one. Okay, or we can store to some variables. You can do that as well, but just I'm directly going to print it. Okay, so you can see 90. So how we can access element? So with the help of a square bracket, and within a square bracket you have to pass the key. Okay, so make sure it should be correct name. If you am writing something like that, because these are also case sensitive. Okay, so this will show error because that does not exist. Okay, so you can see this does not exist. So also make sure what you have defined, this will consider a different one. So only this key, because with the key we can access certain value. Okay, so this one again. Next point is, two things might happen, if you want to add information or update information. Let me first show you how to add one more record. If you want to add more record means key value pair for a student data, students grade. Okay, so let me this one grades. Okay, and let me put my name. Okay, I'm just using my short name, and just why I want to store my mathematics. Okay, so that was highest marks in mathematics. I think we are using as a numeric value, so let me show you. Okay, so this one, so I have already added one more value. So again, how to add? Just use a different key, and that key store some value. Okay, so this one, and let's print this. How now it will be. Okay, so you can see our updated dictionary is this one. Okay, so do not confuse with the order, because this is on order. Dictionary is on order collection, so it might be according to Python memory management, or how it things working. So it might be it's not like we are adding at the last, so Jiten should be added last. Is somewhere it might be exist, it might be even there, it might be even there, but it should be present here. Okay, so make sure order is not here, the same order you are adding, it might be somewhere. Okay, so how the hashing or something work. Okay, but just for that is not, but sometime if you are taking care of all the things, then I'm just saying do not confuse with these things. Okay, if you are confused these things, so make sure you have to go in deeper level of the concept. But just I'm mentioning these things are sometimes happen, why we are adding. It's not like normal concatenations or just joining. So joining or adding in appending or adding, these two different things. Okay, appending or updating or something like that. So whenever adding something, appending something in list, so it will be always added to end. But in the case of tuples, in the case of set, in the case of dictionary, the order is not preserved. Okay, it might be somewhere else, but that data should be presented there. Okay, fine. So we have already seen how to add element. Now let's update. Okay, so I want to update certain data. So make sure you already seen here, like key is always very important. Okay, so in other things like in Python list, indexing was there, right? In tuples, indexing was not there, right? Even in the what we can say, sorry, in I think tuple indexing was there, but in the case of sets, that was not there. Okay, fine. So update one, right? So we have to update this value. So similarly, just call the variables name grades, and then call John, and then update the value 95. Okay, and then after Okay, so you can see the value is updated. Fine. So till now we understood how to create dictionary, how to access the element of the dictionary, how to add one more data, how to can update certain data. Okay, so till now these things are already understood. Let me show you one more example. Okay, if you want to remove certain data, okay, so remove those grade I want to remove. So in that case, just you have to remember one more thing. This is a little bit tricky, and just you have to memorize sometime we forget this syntax. Okay, so just what you have to do, first you have to call del, so that is one keyword, a keyword provided by this Python to delete something. It not like like remove. Okay, so sometime it might be confused with it should be remove or something like that, right? But this is not remove, is not available in Python dictionary to delete something. So I think many times we forget. Okay, even I forget, like when I'm going to delete the dictionary element, how we can do. So always I use remove method and then thinking, okay, remove is not available, so sometimes we get this error. So just we have to call del, and then you have to mention here which data you have to mention. Like I want to delete the data of those. Okay, so it will be deleted. Let's print it. Okay, so grades. Let's save this one. So you can see data is deleted. Okay, so this one thing, removing the key value, we have already learned. Modifying, we already know. Okay, so let me show you what are the important functions available there. Okay, so some important methods. Yeah, so let's print all the keys. So if we want to print all the keys, okay, so what we have to do, grades dot keys, just plural form, not singular form. Okay, and then inside this one, just call the print functions to display to the screen. Okay, so one methods, just you have to remember, keys is one methods, another method is called, okay, so so one by one. Okay, let's do ones together. Print all values. Okay, so same thing, just grades dot values. Okay, make sure not, it should be plural form, not values. Okay, then call print okay, fine. And then one more thing, print all keys and value pairs. Okay, so in this case one more method is called grades dot items. Okay, now also print this one, print, and this one. Fine. Let's run this and see from the bottom. Okay, so one spelling mistake here. Great. Okay, so let's rerun. Okay, so you can see all the keys we can see here. John, Jane, last one you can see, not this was our last data, right? So you can see all the keys, you can print it here. If you want to only get the value, so you can get only the value part, and if you want to both, like in this format, so you can see dictionary items, it will be display like that. Okay, so you can see why you will need this one. Okay, so there might be certain scenario these things will be very helpful. Okay, once you are using in this loop, or most of the time in loop, these things are very important. Okay, key, and we have to, like, sometime we have to iterate something. Okay, wherever iteratable is required, or sometime if you want to get the, just we have to check everything, just we have to check If this is name, this is a value, then print something. So just when you are doing some filter or sorting something like that. So these are very helpful informations. Okay, after this we have already seen what is the meaning of what are the method, like methods, keys, values, and items method are available, and what is use of that. Okay, so one more thing, let me discuss. uh, Fine, and let me explain. I don't think is work should be fine or not. So there is one method called get. So get gen grade using get method. So there is one get method. Okay, but the important part here, grades dot get. Okay, so inside this one there is some certain things we can do like that. Okay, so it's just like if you have to find some information, right? So it will use that way, but information is does not exist, so it's work like if else condition. Okay, so this message should be displayed. Okay, or it will be returned. So with the help of print we will print this one. Okay, let's run this. But in this case T8 is already exists, gen data is already exists, so that's why we are not getting. But if certain things does not exist, so we can handling the errors. Okay, or just gracefully terminating the program or returning something that should be meaningful. Okay, so that is some error message. If that data does not exist, just display this message. So one more important use of get is that. So one more thing, we can also create the nested. Okay, so let me show you. I already written some code. Okay, so just I'm going to copy paste similar way. Okay, so you can do the copy pasting. Okay, so if you want to create what it called nested dictionary. Okay, so this is what a student a school dictionary. Inside the school dictionary we have to going to store information of many student. Okay, so we can do like that. Okay, so the syntax is same, like this is called one dictionary. Okay, this is called one more dictionary. Okay, so one dictionary means one information. So inside dictionary we can also define the dictionary. Okay, so we can say key is a dictionary. Okay, or this is key also this is also called dictionary. Okay, so obviously this is key, so key might be in the form of dictionary itself. Okay, so what is called keys. Okay, and then that keys have many value. Okay, so it's not dictionary, it's a normal key. Okay, and the key can have multiple value in the form of this. Okay, so the value the value can be complete dictionary. Okay, so this is our value. So because if you're following this to memorize or analogy to this, so this will consider as a keys. And so how we access this one? So first we have to call main outer dictionary name, this one. Then we have to, which one we have to find out? This one, student 2. Okay, and then after again this is called as a form of dictionary. Then we have to call the grade. Okay, and we will print it out, and our output will be according to that. Okay, so you can see 90. You can, the student 2 grade is 90, this one, right? So similarly you can define more thing. Okay, so I think this is a more important thing and essential thing as when you are learning Python, so these informations and these are important thing you should know too, so that you will not stuck somewhere. Okay, so let's close at this point time at this time. So I think most of the important concept we have already discovered, everyone. So if you feel this was informative video for you and it might be helpful, then comment down below. I will try to make more engaging video if that working for you. Okay, so that's all, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Let's meet in another one.